From Halifax, Canada, welcome to the GCN Show.
From America, Britannia, welcome to the GCN Show.
From Czech and Slovakian Road Cycling Championship, welcome to the GCN Show.
Welcome to the GCN Show.
Coming up this week, we've got a wrap up of all the national championships, and it's another tech special. So we've got 3 new helmets, we've got a look at the world's first ever smart bike, the SpeedX, and some swaying pedals. Oh, and we've got some new merchandise, some of which will be for sale, some of which will be reserved for competition winners only. It's time now for Hacks / Bodge of the Week. What have you got to start us off with, Matt?
First off, this is an absolute cracker to start off. This is from Ollie Wade. Trolley handles as handlebars. I don't know where he got those from. Did he get them from a canal? But it's certainly not particularly safe. No brakes.
No, and I'm sure that shopping trolley bars were not meant to be used as handlebars. They're not very safe,
no.
I don't think. This one is from
integrity.
local to us in Bath, sent in by Lewis Rawlinson. He says that at Bath HPA are making 3D printed jockey wheels, which look pretty cool.
They look more than 3D, they look actually real.
And next up, we also had a homemade motorhome bike rack sent in. Check out this video, it takes 5 bikes and it looks very neat indeed.
Very good. Moving on swiftly to this from Marcus Viniclus. It's, well, an aerodynamic mountain bike.
Yeah, I like this one. It's kind of a hack, isn't it? Because, you know, those GMBN guys on our sister channel, they've got those ridiculous like bars that rise up. They're like about a mile wide. You're not aero at all. He's come up with a solution.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen to his kind of chest area or potentially neck. It's a little bit exposed. Teeth, good point.
It is a step in the right direction.
But it certainly is aero. So he's got the bars attached underneath the head tube.
Yeah, we'll have to let GMBN know how they can upgrade their own bikes. This one was sent in by Melly Mans. He has customised his own Oakleys.
He has his customised Oakley jawbones into Bumblebee from Transformers colourway. Interesting.
Oh, here's one that I added in. You took it out, I noticed. It's a new chain keeper which comes in from Upham.
At Upham. This is a really nice bit of subject matter there, Dan. And he's got another one there, so I'm just going to move straight past that. Or is that the same one?
It's the same one, different
Anyway,
angle.
lastly, we've got this. It's another case of a mechanical doper, really. It's an old Marin mountain bike with what looks like a lawnmower engine on it, adapting it to a mechanically propelled vehicle. One for the GCN boys, GCN hack, definitely is.
Well, you say the last one, Matt. I think we've got time for one more. And in a moment, you will see why. Check this out. This is a definite hack. It was sent in by David Wayland. It was made by his soon-to-be father-in-law, Phil Wilson. It's entirely made out of bike parts and completely reliant on them all to work. It took 2 years for him to make this, and it was all inspired after he spotted a disc brake left lying about in Morsey.
That's a lot of time. It's that time of the show when we get to announce the winner of the latest GCN unboxing. Now last week it was the Topic Prep Station Pro. Are you ready? The winner is...
David Napoli. Well done, David Napoli. Lastly, we'll be in touch with you for your address so that we can get that straight out for you. And apologies to every other David who thought that they might have won. Now, unfortunately, no unboxing for you this week, but as mentioned at the top of the show, we do have a limited supply of these. Camelback being our new bottle supplier, this being Napoleon bottle. That's the extent of what we've got to offer you, along with these two down here. And to win one, well, firstly, this week's Caption competition winner will get one, and next week's too. And stay tuned over on our Facebook page. We'll have another competition where a few of you can get your hands on them too.
It's now time for cycling shorts.
Nasser Bouhanni's national championships didn't get off to a particularly good start when he was woken at 4 a.m. in the morning by some rather noisy residents making a bit of a racket at the hotel. Now apparently they were slightly intoxicated and there ended up being a little bit, well, some shenanigans and also a bit of a kerfuffle. Now we don't know 100% what went on, but what we have managed to glean from this rather, well, difficult set of circumstances was the fact that Nasser Bouhanni himself had 4 stitches to his hand.
Ooh. How did he get on at the Nationals the next day?
Well, he didn't finish, unfortunately, but the course didn't really suit him.
Was it too punchy? from ruckuses to swimming. Probably not my seamless link ever, but we'll stick with it. Richie Porte may be about to embark on trying to win the Tour de France in July, but he has also recently been in the pool. Now, many of you will know that Richie comes from a swimming and triathlon background, and he still spends plenty of time now in the pool trying to gain fitness.
Yeah, it's quite interesting this one. He's actually teamed up with multiple world swimming champion Marc and Speedo for, get this, a training course designed for cyclists, but for swimming, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I think I've pretty much got that right. But Porte himself attributes a lot of his gains over recent years to the fitness that he's got from swimming. And if you think back to his work with Tim Kerrison, it kind of does make a lot of sense because Tim Kerrison himself was previously a swimming coach.
Yeah, could well be worth looking into. I'll tell you what, with those funny little caps on them, they look quite aero, don't they?
Let's take a look at this. I mean, Dan, they're not even in the air. It's more water-o.
Right, moving quickly on. Who remembers Floyd Landis?
I do.
I do too, but for those of you new to the sport, Floyd actually won the Tour de France all the way back in 2006 before being stripped of the title after he tested positive for testosterone. Now you have to say that since then it's been a very up and down life for Floyd, but recently he has opened a cannabis-based business in Leadville in Colorado. And I actually went to Leadville once, and until I went there, I didn't realise quite how high they were there.
What do you mean?
It's at like 3,000 metres above sea level.
Oh, right,
Really high.
right, okay. Right.
Okay, on to an endurance ride update. The Transamerica finished last week, or at least it did for the front runners, and history was made. Lael Wilcox not only became the first female to win it, but also the first American. And incredibly, she covered the 7,000 kilometres, or around about 4,000 miles, in just over 18 days. Completely self-supported, let's not forget. Made even more incredible by the fact that last year there were no female solo finishes at all. Absolutely unbelievable ride.
That is pretty impressive. But meanwhile, in the Race Across America, otherwise known as the Ram, Pierre Bishkov held on to win. He took 9 days, 17 hours to cover the 3,070 miles, or 4,940 kilometres. Now, he was the first ever German to win in the race's 35-year history, and Nicole Reist of Switzerland held on to win the women's race in 11 days and 14 hours.
To finish with our endurance special this week, I'd like to say congratulations to Ronan McLaughlin, actually a former teammate of mine, because he, at the weekend, won the Donegal Atlantic Way Race. 555 kilometres long, he covered it in 19 hours and 45 minutes for an average speed of over 28 k's an hour. Also very impressive.
Well, unfortunately, we're going to have to leave this week's Cycling Shorts with some very sad news, because Stig Brox of Lotto Soudal, who was involved in a very nasty crash back in May in the Tour of Belgium and has been kept in an induced coma ever since, looks to have suffered from very severe brain damage. So it's absolutely awful news. So our thoughts from everybody here at GCN are with his family, friends and teammates at this really difficult time.
Yeah, we've got everything crossed, hoping that a miracle will happen. Stay strong, Stig. The whole cycling world is behind you. It's another bumper week of tech news, and Si is going to get us kick-started with the world's most successful ever cycling-related Kickstarter campaign. Si, what have you got over there?
This is the SpeedX Leopard. Now, there's not many of these in the wild yet, but there will be soon, because this brand launched on Kickstarter, and 1,200 people pre-ordered this, the Leopard, and the Leopard Pro. And it's causing some serious disruption to the bike industry. And it's not hard to see why people ordered them. Firstly, this is a really, really innovative bike. There's some great features, as well as the fact that it is a very aerodynamic looking frame. You can't see any brake or gear cables apart from that bit there, because they've integrated them underneath the stem, down through the steer tube, and then look, the brake cable pops out back there. So you've got mini V-brakes at the back of the forks. So, as well as probably being more aerodynamic, it certainly looks super clean. But then, the big thing about this bike is the integrated bike computer up on the stem there. So it's got GPS, it's got speed sensors, it's got cadence sensor, it's got ANT Plus compatibility, so you can connect your heart rate monitor and, should you wish, a power meter as well. And you don't have to bother pressing the screen. Your top cap is like a joystick. Imagine that. You could probably upload computer games on there and play Pac-Man whilst you wait for your mates. Then the innovations don't stop there, because the back of this seat pillar here, you've got a rear light that's activated when the light sensor detects that it's getting dark. So all that innovation, but the second and possibly the biggest reason why people have ordered this in their droves already is the price. it is incredibly cheap. So when it was launched initially, it was just £800 or $1,000 on Kickstarter. If you missed that round of ordering, then you can get it on Indiegogo now. The price has gone up a little bit, so it's now $1,200 on Indiegogo for this one. But then if you still don't get your act into gear and order it on Indiegogo, then apparently they're going to be launching a website where you can pre-order these bikes in July. And if you have ordered one, then apparently you'll be getting it towards the end of July or the beginning of August.
That is quite interesting. What do you think the bike industry is going to be thinking about SpeedX?
No, look up on it with quite a lot of interest. But it's definitely a good deal for the consumer. But the bike industry might be just a little bit worried, perhaps.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they are. Okay, moving on. 2 weeks ago, it was all about the aero enduro road bikes. Last week, it was all about new shoes. This week, it's about new helmets. And we'll start off with this brand new design coming from Scott, which you may have seen being used at the Giro d'Italia recently by both Caleb Ewan and Esteban Chavez.
Yeah, this new model is called the Cadence Plus, and it was developed in conjunction with Adelaide University, who claim it's the most aerodynamic helmet out there.
Big claim.
And will offer a massive advantage, especially to sprinters. Of course, Caleb Ewan being the highest profile user at the moment.
Is that how he beat you in that sprint on the rest day?
I'm not saying anything.
All makes sense now, doesn't it?
Blimey! Ah! You still don't have it! Oh no!
Right, well, another sprinter who'll be wearing a new helmet at the Tour de France is Nasser Bouhanni. It's not a new shape from BBB, but it's a new design, a throw to his hero, the late great Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, that's quite a funky helmet. I wonder if Nasser Bouhanni is actually wearing that during that unfortunate fracas in
Don't know.
in France.
Sounds like he
overnight.
needed hand protection as much as head protection at that point.
Yeah, certainly does. Anyway, talking of custom helmets, we've got this. This is really tasty. This is from Cask. This is to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Maratoni and the Dolomites. It comes in both models, in the Protone and the Mojito. This is the Mojito here. Look at that lovely little flourish on the back.
Yeah, very nice
Dolomites
indeed.
just in the background there. Very nice.
Well, that's all for helmets for this week, but moving on to something completely different. Edco Swiss, who are better known for their carbon wheels, have come up with a new product which, I quote, reinvents the clipless pedal.
Does that mean it's going to be easier to clip in?
No, I'm afraid not, Matt. What they have done is come up with a rocking mechanism.
I'm too old for rocking, mate.
Well, after you hear about this, you might be swayed. These pedals are called Triax, and they offer 4 degrees of lateral sway, which they claim can help improve rider efficiency by 5.4% and also help anyone that suffers from knee pain whilst they're riding. What do you think of them?
I quite like the look of them, to be honest. Wouldn't mind giving them a go. It's time now for Caption of the Week. Now, last week we had this rather amusing picture, let's face it, of Fabian Cancellara glancing at his rear whilst 2 ladies tended to his rear, all by the looks of it. Now, the winner is Scott English, who said, "I don't know why we can't just put the Di2 battery in my seat post." That's actually pretty good.
That is very
make
good.
me
Much
do a little-
better than whatever I said last week, which I can't
do a
remember.
little
Well done,
roll.
Scott. Get in touch on Facebook. We'll send you out one of these.
You will.
Well done. This week's photo is this one from the podium of the individual time trial championships in Belgium with Yves Lampaert there on the left. We shall get you started. Oh no. Looks like Lars is about to try and ride up the Koppenberg. What's his face going to be like?
That is a
I tried to
face.
continue on to try and get funny. It hasn't
concerned,
worked. I'm
man.
sure that you can do better, and all you've got to do is leave your comments and captions in the section below this video.
It won't be
Good
very
luck.
hard.
Remember, one of these is on offer.
It won't be hard.
Racing news this week is completely focused on national championships. Tradition being that the weekend before the Tour de France, most of the world have their national championships. But that means that unfortunately, we haven't got time to name all of the deserved winners. But coming up are a few of the highlights.
Yeah, well, let's start off with some of the riders that we're seeing at the Tour de France, shall we? So first off, Edvald, Boasson, Hagen of Dimension Data took 2 victories, in fact the time trial and at the road championships in Norway. Arthur Vichot took a thrilling win in the French road race championships, whilst Thibaut Pinot of FDJ won the time trial, just showing how far he's come in that discipline. Over in Germany, Andre Greipel took his 3rd title, edging out Kittel, who only ended up 3rd.
That's an interesting one, isn't it? Just before the stage 1 of the Tour
Definitely.
de France, which should end up in a sprint. Okay, down in Spain, not a surprise at all to see Movistar taking the victory this year. That was JD Rojas. And it was an amazing weekend for Team Tinkoff. They took a number of titles. Rafa Majka took the Polish title. In the Czech Republic, it was Roman Kreutzke who won in a race which is held in conjunction with the Slovak National Championships. And that one, unsurprisingly, was won by Sagan. But more surprisingly, it was won by Juraj Sagan and not Peter, who helped his brother to the victory this year.
There you go.
Oh, and before I finish with Tour de France riders, my man, Ljungqvist.
Oh, yeah.
Sprinter extraordinaire, took another victory, his 7th of the year, by winning the Dutch Nationals in the sprint.
He is absolutely flying now. Meanwhile, away from the Tour de France, Philippe Gilbert took his 2nd title in the Belgian Road Race Championships. Luxembourger Bob Jungels doubled up. He took the TT and the road race. Another rider who doubled up was Nico Roach, who is now the Irish TT and road champion for Team Sky. And it was a good weekend, as we said, for Tinkoff. They got another title in the form of Adam Blythe, who won the British Road Race Championships, just ahead of Marc Cavendish. And Alex Dowsett of Movistar took a record 5th win in the time trial. And in the women's road race, it was Hannah Barnes of Canyon SRAM, who added to Canyon SRAM's amazing weekend by taking the British title, just in front of her sister Alice. But remember, she came back from that horrific injury in her first win of the year for her. But then later on in the day, Hannah then stood at the feed zone in the men's road race championships and handed up bidons to her boyfriend, Theo Geoghegan-Hart, who then went on to win the Under-23 championships.
What a talented couple that is. Imagine if they have children, it'll be like the new Taylor Phinney or something with those kinds of genes, wasn't it?
Watch this space, perhaps.
It was actually Hannah's teammate at Canyon SRAM, Mika Kruger, who won the German title at just 22 years of age. Emma Johansson did the double in Sweden. And somebody else who took her 3rd consecutive victory down in Italy was Elena Cecchini, who's actually the girlfriend of Elia Viviani. And it was him who was stood in the feed zone at her race, handing out bottles and handing out encouragement as well.
Bit of a theme.
Dom's chosen 2 tweets for us this week. Where's the first one from?
He has. Well, the first one is from Peter Stessner of Trek Segafredo, who tweeted, 1 year ago I was watching on TV whilst learning to walk again. Next week I race at Le Tour, which is great news. Hashtag comeback, hashtag never settle.
Yeah, absolutely incredible comeback from a horrific crash. Our second tweet comes from Sepp van Mark. It's a double header actually.
Yes,
he started off by saying, National Championships individual time trial, number 1, great to see teammate Victor Campenaerts win.
Yep.
Number 2, myself, some fast toilet visits in the morning, 5 times throwing up during a TT, no power, 5th.
Can you imagine that? No power and still 5th. I mean, I'd struggle to get in the top 60 with power.
I'd have come 10th with power, yeah.
10th, that's quite top 10.
Well, I just thought I'd say a bit ahead of you.
Top 10 with power. Confidence. Dan, guess what the time is?
Lunchtime. Starving.
Good guess. It's not lunchtime. It's time for GCN's Wattage Bazooka!
Now, you really want to win it this week, because the person that's about to win it receives a t-shirt.
As modelled by us.
Yeah. Still a very limited number available on the shop, shop.globalcyclingnetwork.com, but this week's Viewer Wattage Bazooka goes to Monty Walder, who was nominated by his dad. Now, Monty has been riding a bike since he was 3 and recently took part in the unofficial Berlin Schools Championships in the 7 to 13 category, and despite only being 8, he took 5th place.
That is very, very impressive.
Well done, Monty.
Well deserved. And the t-shirt, well, get in touch and the t-shirt will be on its way to you over in Germany.
Might have to go into it.
Now, the Pro Wattage Bazooka this week was actually brought to our attention by Pro Cyclist Data over on Twitter. Now, it's the power data output from the Netherlands Road Race Championships. So it's the power data from Timo Roesen, who is leading out Dylan Groenewegen to victory in the Dutch National Road Championships. Look at this. 360 metres, average speed 59 kilometres an hour, time 22 seconds, but this is it. Average wattage for 22 seconds, 1005. That's almost up with you, Dan, isn't it?
Almost. You can almost get to 1005 watts, can't you?
Well, yeah, just about.
Don't forget to send us your nominations for Wattage Bazooka. All you've got to do is go on social media and use that hashtag, and we shall find it.
Time now for comments of the week. Got a couple of crackers this week. Now this one, first up, is underneath what's in Tiffany Cromwell's kit bag, and it's from Matthias Banetz. Now, don't really know what it means, but it said this: Simon's giggity is off the chart.
Tiffany, are you a peak up or a peak down kind of lady?
I like the peak up.
Yeah?
Yeah, if it's peak down's too.
That's the right answer.
Raffaresque.
Yeah, that's cool.
Now we got 125 thumbs ups, likes, but
yeah, we didn't. It must be funny though.
I'm not going to comment.
underneath the hardest climb in Mallorca, which featured Tom Last suffering once again. James Heath wrote in saying, whatever you do, don't let Last use anything less than 39 by 25. Ideally, make him use a 42.2 chainring instead. These videos would simply not be the same if you let him use sensible gears. And James, don't worry, if anything, we're going to make the gears harder so that the suffer face increases.
And the climb steeper.
Yeah, definitely. And our last one came underneath last week's Tour de France preview show, which is still up on the channel. Make sure you check it out. Carvin Sunny Lie said, in 2014, Nibali won the Tour de France, so I voted for him in the Tour de France in 2015.
Yep.
Chris Froome won the Tour de France in 2015, so I voted for him in the Vuelta.
Yep.
Michał Kwiatkowski performed great in this year's E3 Arelbecker, so I voted for him in the Tour of Flanders. Sagan won the Tour of Flanders, so I voted for him in Paris-Roubaix. Tom Dumoulin performed great in the Vuelta of España in 2015, so I voted for him in the Giro. Now Chris Froome won the Criterium de Dauphiné, so I voted for him in the Tour de France 2016.
The Tour de France will be won by Chris Froome.
What's he trying to say?
I think he's trying to say that he doesn't live on the edge.
On the channel this week, on Wednesday, it's our 5 tips to get more out of your power meter.
The best thing about training with a power meter is that the values you see are completely comparable from day to day and year to year. Now that's in contrast to speed, which can be affected by variables such as wind or riding in a group or even road surface.
On Thursday, it's our 9 outside riders to look out for at the Tour de France. And on Friday, it's Ask GC Anything, number 19.
Saturday's Pro Bike is a Team FDJ Lapierre time trial machine. On Sunday, Si brings you a top secret feature from a wind tunnel. And on Monday, I show you how to calculate your optimal chain length for your bike.
I thought you could just make it up or just do it randomly.
I've noticed that, but you can't. Make sure you watch my video. There's going to be some extra content coming from the Tour de France as well. And then on Tuesday, it will be...
Welcome to the GCN Show!
From all the British cycling accredited marshals, welcome to the GCN Show.
As ever, we're going to end the show with Extreme Corner. Now this week we have Matthew Lowe and a friend on a tandem around a pump track.
Whoa!
Check this out.
I think that was the least extreme thing I've ever witnessed.
It wasn't even moderately extreme, was it?
You got a new t-shirt on?
Yeah, have you?
Yeah, well I had plenty of time to get changed during that video.
Yeah, so did I actually. But this is actually a limited edition to celebrate all that's good about July.
Oh, well this is actually unlimited, so you can always get this one. All you've got to do is head over to our shop, a link to which is here.
And the Tour de France is just around the corner, so why not watch our preview show by clicking just up there.
Yeah, on the other hand, if you want to win the Tour de France in the future yourself, you might want to train by power and look at the metrics that you should look at after each and every training ride. 5 metrics to train by power just down there.
And to subscribe to GCN, you know what to do. Click on the globe.